everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. Right, so for this video, it's going to be your typical pickups video where I'm going to be taking us around all the titles that I've gotten in the last week. And just like all my other haul videos, it's going to consist of 5 movies, 3 of which are 4K titles, the other 2 are Blu-ray. So with that said, I am going to jump right into it, and I'm going to start with the Blu-rays. Now this is going to be a little bit different because both Blu-rays that I have here are actually bootleg titles. And the reason to why I picked them up is because they're never going to get physical releases. And when that's taken out of my hands, I'm going to do everything in my power to get them physically. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank my good friend Bumper for hooking me up with both of these releases. A huge thank you again, my friend. This means so much to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link in the description below to Bumper's channel, and I would encourage you to go over and check it out. Not only that, reach out to him because chances are he will hook you up with releases like this. So a huge thank you again, my friend. Right, so the first title that he sent me was Salem's Lot. Now, even the artwork on this, everything looks legit. It looks like a proper physical release. Like I said, the artwork is spot on. The back of it is perfect. Look at that. And even when you open it up, you've got a picture disc as well. So yes, it all looks legit. It really does. So yes, this is the remake of Salem's Lot. And I remember seeing this movie for the first time, and I was really conflicted. I didn't know whether or not I enjoyed it, and I needed that second viewing. And when I watched it for the second time, yes, I enjoyed it. I did. I wouldn't be buying the bootleg release if I didn't. But I am also very conflicted because what's massively hampering this movie is the way it's edited. Because it was originally shot, there was a 3-hour version, but it was cut down to around an hour and 55. And you can see it. You really can. It's become almost like a set-piece movie, where once things kick on, it's like a set piece, and there's almost little to no character development. All of that is probably left down to the scenes that were actually cut out of it. So I think we're all hoping that someday it might get a physical release. I doubt it very much, but if it does, fingers crossed, we will get that 3-hour version, and I guarantee you it is going to be a hell of a lot better than what we got here. But like I said, I had a good time with it. The only issue I had with it was is Barlow. There's a scene in it where, and it's just so typical of movie directors today or filmmakers today, where they just had to get him to speak. And when Barlow speaks, that's it. It's gone. It doesn't seem scary anymore to me, because he actually looks pretty good. He looks the part. But like I said, as soon as he opens his mouth, you're rolling your eyes and going, why? Why did you do that? But the movie it looks beautiful. It has that real eerie look to it. That lovely small town horror vibe that I absolutely love. And like I said, if we can get that 3-hour version, I'm sure it's going to massively improve this movie. Again, I've said it so many times, studio interference, nothing ever good comes from it. And this is another example of it. Now, the picture quality in this one, I have to tell you, for the most part, was quite good. Yes, there is a little bit of pixelation. I've noticed that right at the start of the movie. But as it went on, it kind of just disappeared. Now, the audio comes with a Dolby Digital 5.1. So yes, the audio is a little bit lacking. But you know what? I am more than happy with it because it's the only way to own this movie physically. And yes, I'm quite impressed with what I've seen and what I've heard when it comes to this release. So yes, that is the first title, Salem's Lot. If you haven't checked it out, give it a go and see what you think of yourselves. It doesn't come remotely close to the original. It really doesn't. But I still think it's a decent remake, a faithful remake. So there you go, Salem's Lot. Right, so the other movie that I got from Bumper, and this one is a big deal because it's never going to get a physical release. It's a Netflix movie. And it is Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Now, I watched this a couple of nights ago. It was my second viewing, and if anything, I had even a better time with it on my second viewing, and that's saying a lot when you consider how much I enjoyed it the first time around. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it was because of John Ashton returning to the character of Taggart, because as you know, he wasn't in the third movie, and it hindered it somewhat. Now, he's not in it that much, but when he is there, he's on point. All three of them are, whether it's Eddie Murphy or Judge Reinhold. And to see the three of them interact together, particularly at the end of it in the car, that throwback to the original Beverly Hills Cop, it put the biggest smile on my face. As you know, John Ashton has passed away, and the thought of never seeing that interaction again is absolutely heartbreaking, really is. Now, just going back to what I said there about the throwback, because I mentioned in my Alien Romulus video, whatever it is with directors today or filmmakers today, they insist on doing these throwbacks to the movies that came before. And I find it to be somewhat irritating. But in this one, I think it's the right way to do it, because a lot of the throwbacks that you hear in it is to do with the music. I cannot tell you how happy me and Ellen were when we were sitting in this room watching an action set piece in a Beverly Hills Cop movie and Neutron Dance was playing through it. It put the biggest smiles on our faces. It really did. It was absolutely incredible. And that's what I'm talking about. The throwbacks that you get in this is mainly to do with the music that you heard in the previous movies. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful sequel. It's a Beverly Hills Cop movie. It belongs in the Beverly Hills Cop family. Is it as good as the first two? Absolutely not. It doesn't come remotely close. But I think I would put it ahead of the third one. The only issue I had with it is Axel Foley in it is a father. And he has a broken relationship with his daughter. And their interactions in it, this whole, you know, I hate you, I hate you, I hate... It just went on a bit too much, and I found it to be somewhat irritating. So I'm kind of hoping that if we do get a sequel, they'll kind of cut all of that out. I think that's what I was heavily criticised for when it first came out. So I'm hoping that we won't see that again, fingers crossed, if we do see a sequel to it. Now, the picture on this one looks great. It really does. And just like the Salem's Lot release, it has a Dolby Digital 5.1 audio. And it's not as immersive as I would normally like it to be. But you know what? It gets the job done. And like I said, I'm never going to own this physically, so I'm not going to complain too much. So there you have it, Beverly Hills Cop. Just had a fun time revisiting this one. Right, so on to the first of 3 4K titles that I'm going to be featuring in this video. This one is a Scream Factory title, and it is Death Becomes Her. And I have to tell you, it was at least close to 20 years when I last seen this movie. And I had a wonderful time revisiting it. I think it holds up incredibly well. Now, it's directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it stars Bruce Willis, Goldie Hawn, and Meryl Streep. Now, I have to tell you, me and Ellen were so impressed by Bruce Willis in this movie. Because as you know, Bruce Willis at the time was seen as this big action star, a real man's man. But in this one, he's very timid. You know, he's always crying, he's complaining, and he handles it all with absolute ease. Might be one of my favourite performances from Bruce Willis, and that's saying quite a bit. Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep are at their reliable best. And if you're not particularly aware of it, I'm not going to say anything. Because if you can go into this movie blind, I think it could be very special. Let's just say it's a love triangle movie with a twist. I'll say no more about it. So if you do decide to check it out, I recommend looking into this 4K release because it looks stunning. I'm always praising Scream Factory when it comes to their 4K releases, and this one is no different. I could not believe how good it actually looks. It does come with Dolby Vision in this one, and the colours are not overly vibrant as you sometimes see with 4K releases. This one is just very, very tastefully handled. The grain structure is kind of medium to fine in this one. I don't think it's going to distract anyone. Grain hairs, I don't think you're going to have anything to worry about. It's a very sharp looking image, and the biggest testament I can pay to this 4K transfer is how well some of the visuals stand up to it. There is one scene in particular, oh god, I can't say it. It's to do with Meryl Streep. If you know, you know. It's when she falls down the stairs. I'm going to say no more about it. But it was horrendous to look at that scene. But like I said, even under the scrutiny of 4K, I still think it holds up quite well. It does come with a DTS 5.1 audio on this one as well. And look, it's not the most active mix you're ever likely to hear, but it gets the job done. There was absolutely no need for an Atmos or a DTS X audio on this one. I think you're going to have few complaints when it comes to the audio side of this. So there you go, folks. Death Becomes Her. And like I said, if you haven't checked this one out, definitely recommend looking into it. And if you could do, go into it blind. Right, so on to the second 4K title that I'm going to be featuring in this video, and it is The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Demeter? I think it is. Now, I went into this one completely blind, knew nothing about it, never checked out a trailer, I didn't know the cast that was in it. I just read the synopsis of it and I thought it sounded very intriguing. I took a gamble on it and I'm so happy I did. Now, if you're not particularly aware of this one, it's about this crew, this ship, they're traveling to London, and on board is this character here. Now, I don't know if it's meant to be Dracula, but it is a vampire. And the one thing I love about it is the fact that he stays in bat form. And for the most part, I found him to be quite terrifying. The cast in it, for the most part, there is enough development there for you to genuinely care about them as the movie goes on. And it goes without saying as well, there is a bit of violence to be had. But the one star of the show for me is the setting of the movie, because, you know, you got this creaky old kind of ghost ship, and particularly at night when you see it, it just lends incredibly well to a vampire movie. All in all, I had a fantastic time with it. It was a pleasant surprise. And one of the reasons why I enjoyed it as much as I did, it could be down to how stunning this 4K transfer looks. As you know, the movie can be very dark. You want those deep blacks, and you get it in abundance with this release. Now, I always do a video at the end of the year, you know, my top 5, top 10 best 4K transfers of the year. Now, I know we're only in February, but I can tell you now, this is definitely going to make the list. I was that impressed by its 4K transfer. Not only that, but it comes with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, and wow. I could not get over how good this actually sounds. It is very, very active. It's so immersive as well. There's one scene I need to single out. There's a bit in there where this chap is escaping on a life raft and Dracula comes after him. And what's happening is, it's almost like Dracula's teasing him. He's just flying around the life pod, the life raft, whatever you want to call it. And the way that the sound is handled it's just perfect. Your higher channels, you're getting that perfect circle, that beautiful bit of separation, and it's seamless. It sounds amazing. It's a top Dolby Atmos soundtrack with an equally impressive 4K picture on this one. I think you're going to be impressed with it. So yes, folks, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Definitely recommend checking this one out. I'm so happy I took a gamble on it. I was very impressed by it. Right, so that takes me on to the last 4K title that I'm going to be showing in this video. It's an Arrow Video release, and the movie is The Gift. Now, I remember picking this up on DVD back in the day, but for the life of me, I could not remember the movie. So I said, screw it, I'm going to take a gamble on it. It was a bit of a no-brainer, let's face it, because it's directed by Sam Raimi. And when you see the cast in it, it's quite incredible. You got the likes of Cate Blanchett, Greg Kinnear, Katie Holmes, Hilary Swank, and Keanu Reeves. Now, I have to tell you, Keanu Reeves is one horrible bastard in this one. I never thought I would ever say that about Keanu Reeves, but wow, he really is a piece of work. Now, if you're not particularly aware of The Gift, it is it's a supernatural thriller. Cate Blanchett is a tarot reader, and she gets visions of a girl's death, and then it's all about finding the body and who's responsible for it. There's a good build-up to it. It's very intriguing. It's kind of on the edge of your seat kind of stuff. Even though I have to admit, when the reveal comes at the end of it, you do feel somewhat underwhelmed by it because you can see it coming a mile away. But I have to tell you, the cast alone will carry you through this movie. Not only that, but it's beautifully, beautifully directed by Sam Raimi. And I don't regret my time with The Gift. I'm so happy I picked it up in the end. Now, when it comes to the 4K transfer on this one, look, it's not a showstopper. Far from it. But again, it's how the movie was intended to look. It has a very, very soft presentation on this one. Not only that, but the colours do seem somewhat subdued, the Dolby Vision colours. But again, that's how the movie is intended to look. It has a certain stylistic look to it. And I found this one to be a very faithful presentation. But don't be expecting to go into this seeing a crisp looking 4K transfer. You're definitely not getting it. Now, it does come with a DTS 5.1 audio, and for the most part it gets the job done. Nothing too exciting here, but we are talking about The Gift. It's mainly dialogue driven, and like I said, the 5.1 handles it with ease. Now, I have to tell you, I am very, very relieved that I'm actually holding this in my hands, because I pre-ordered it a couple of months ago from Amazon, and when it came to its release date, I got an email from Amazon saying that it's been cancelled, that they couldn't get any in stock. So it goes without saying I was really pissed off about it. So a couple of weeks later I was scrolling through Amazon, came across this, and lo and behold, there it was in stock. Wrap your head around that if you can. But look, I've got it in the end, and that's the most important thing. And that's the last title that I'm going to be featuring in this video. So as per usual, if you did like what you see here, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you could do, leave a comment down below, and please do share your thoughts on some of the titles that I featured in this video. And yeah, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.